I do want to thank everyone for joining today, taking some time out of your busy schedules to take a look at Connect and Fix. So let's go ahead and get started. And we will begin with just a quick look at the agenda. Let me make this a little bigger for you guys. So we do have a quick PowerPoint presentation to run through. It won't take very long. I'd rather spend more time on the product. So we're just going to learn a little bit about what Connect and Fix is. We're going to talk about the security that goes on in the background. We're going to look at different ways that you can connect to customer devices using Connect and Fix. And then we'll actually show you guys the product so you can see it in action. So let's start off with, what is Connect and Fix? Connect and Fix is a remote support tool, probably very similar to a lot of other remote support tools you guys have either seen or used in the past. There's a lot of different remote support tools out there. I'm sure you guys are well aware of some of the different companies. And one of the things that sets Connect and Fix apart from a lot of the competition that's out there is price. Connect and Fix is completely free. As you can use the product as long as you want. There's never going to be any cost associated with that. So you can resolve client issues without having to pay a penny. Now, as far as which types of devices you can use Connect and Fix to remote into, or even which types of devices you can use to remote into clients, it's cross-platform. So it doesn't matter if it is a Windows or a Mac device or even a Linux device, laptops, desktops, servers, cross-platform support. So if you are on your Windows laptop remoting into your client's Mac laptop, no problem. Or if you are on a MacBook Pro and remoting into a client's Linux server, doesn't matter, completely cross-platform as far as OS X, Linux, and Windows devices. Now, a quick view at some of the features that are available whenever you do start up a session. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this slide because I'd rather show these features to you guys in action, but just some basic things like file transfers, screen recording capabilities, whiteboarding tools, along with a lot of other features that you'll see when we get into the product demo. Now, a little bit of background information on us. Connect and Fix is a product that we developed at Corporate Armor. Corporate Armor as a company was founded back in 2011 and then acquired by Temprano Techvestors in 2018. Corporate Armor supplies all types of hardware and software solutions for both infrastructure and security needs and even backup. So whether you need an antivirus solution or anti-malware solution or even firewall, a router, a switch, an AP, and like I said, also some backup solutions as well. You can contact Corporate Armor. I'd be happy to help you with any of those needs. But now Connect and Fix, the product that you guys are here to look at today, we did partner with ISL Inline to develop the solution. So if any of you guys have ever used ISL Inline in the past or even or just seen it in action, a lot of the stuff that you see today will have a very similar look and feel to it. Might be a little bit familiar, and there's a reason for that is because we did partner with ISL Inline to develop this solution. Now, as I mentioned, it is completely free for you guys to use, and a lot of times people think, okay, well, since it's free, there's got to be some corners that people are cutting, or it's not going to be as secure as a paid solution, and that's not the case at all. In fact, we take security very seriously. It's one of the, I would say, one of the strongest things that we have going for us. So a quick look at the security scheme of what's happening in the background, stuff that you don't see, but is all happening whenever you connect to a client's device. First off, the cloud data center, or the clouds, the data centers that we use in the cloud, all the servers are encrypted. The connection that is established between your device and your client's device is also encrypted. There are dedicated firewall ports, specifically 7615 is the main one, and then 443 and 80 as fallback solutions. So you can still make sure that your firewall is locked down while allowing certain communication lines for Connect and Fix. There are also unique session codes that are generated for every single session that is created. So whenever you connect into a client's device, you will have a unique session code. As soon as you end that connection, that session code is no longer valid, can never be used again. And then the solution is also password protected, so you'd have to have credentials to get in and even use it to begin with. But then you can add an additional layer of protection by turning on two-factor authentication. Everything else, as far as security goes, is all pre-configured, ready to go, nothing that you can really change about that. The two-factor authentication is something that you guys can turn on or off as needed. Now, I mentioned that we partnered with ISL Online to develop the solution. We also partnered with them to provide the cloud infrastructure that allows you guys to connect to your client's devices. So whenever you do start up a new session, there are a couple things that happen in the background. First, we use geolocation to find the cloud data center that is closest to you guys. And then we also find the server within that data center that has the least amount of connections to make sure that you have the fastest and highest quality connection whenever you remote into your client's devices. So let's take a quick look at the different ways to connect, and then we'll get into the product demo. There's a couple different ways that you can use the solution. It could be personal preference. It could be where you are, what computer you're logged into, as to which route you take. The first option is using the Connect and Fix application. There is a client that your end customers can have installed on their machines, and then there's also the support desk that you guys would have installed on your devices, where you have the Connect and Fix support desk up and ready to go. Client calls in, they have an issue, you start up a new session, and then you share that session code with your client and connect into them. If they have that client on their computer, they could just type in that session code directly in their Connect and Fix client, and it will connect you a little bit faster than if you use the website, but same look and feel no matter which way you use it. There's a URL at the bottom of the screen. I don't expect you guys to memorize that or write it down. We'll get to that in a little bit later, and I'll show you guys some easier ways to get to the product download page. But now, if you are not in front of your work computer, maybe you are at home, or you're just away, or you're on a client's device and you have an issue that needs to be resolved immediately, you can also use the Connect and Fix website. So you don't necessarily need to have that application installed. You could start up a new session directly from the site, and then it will download just a light client with a session code pre-generated. For your customers, you could direct them to the site. It's just connectandfix.islonline.net. They would put in that session code, and it would download a light version of the client, once again with that a session code pre-generated, so that way whenever you disconnect from the client's device, that that light client is not something that can be used again. So now that we got through the PowerPoint deck, let's go ahead and jump into the product demonstration. So let me get this out of the way, and we will start off with the application so you guys can see what it looks like whenever I connect into a device using the Connect and Fix app. So I'm going to go ahead and click Start New Session, and it will generate the unique session code, and I can share this with my clients multiple ways. I could direct them to that Connect and Fix site that I just mentioned previously and just tell them the session code. I could actually copy the session code and paste it into another solution, or I could copy the entire URL. I could open it as an email within my own email client, so it would open up an Outlook for me. I could also, actually, while we're doing this, let me go ahead and send this over to one of my coworkers so I can have him go ahead and get that started. All right, and then some other ways, I could click the invite button directly from here and then just type in my client's email address, and it will send the email directly from the solution. It doesn't even have to open up in my Outlook or whatever email clients I'm using. So you can also customize this if you wanted to change it up and make it your own. Now, something else I want to point out real quick is everything that I use today, everything I show you guys today, I'm going with the out-of-the-box settings. I haven't made any customization changes to mine, but as we'll see a little bit later in the demo, you guys can customize this. But for me, whenever I connect into my client's device, I'm going to view their remote desktop. So that way I can go ahead and start resolving issues as soon as they connect or allow me to connect. Now, if I wanted to change that up and share my screen upon connection, I could adjust that. Or if I just wanted to have a chat, I just wanted to open up a chat window with the customer. We don't necessarily need to share screens. I just need to chat through something. I could have that chat only. Also, I have my set to automatically enable keyboard and mouse control. So when the client does allow me to connect to their machine, I can go ahead and start doing whatever needs to be done. I don't need to ask them for permission, but sometimes clients would rather you ask their permission first, so that can be disabled. And then the last thing, well, he already allowed me to connect, but the stream in best quality, I had that turned off. I don't necessarily need to have the prettiest view whenever I connect to a device. All I necessarily want to see is, all I necessarily need is the fastest possible connection. So as you can see, the client allowed me to connect into their device, and immediately you guys probably noticed that he has 3 monitors, and I can see all 3 monitors at once, and makes it a little bit hard to work, especially if you're on a smaller screen. You can't really tell what's going on. It's hard to read. So I can adjust this. I can toggle between monitors. So if I wanted to view, say, monitor 3, we're just going to pick one and hope for the best. Now, much better. I can see a screen. I can actually read what's happening. I don't need to get out my glasses. Well, I should probably get out my glasses anyway, but that's besides the point. But now that we've established a connection, I want to go over some of the different features that are available for you guys to use during a remote session. First off, like I said, my is already set to review the remote screen, so that's grayed out. But if I wanted to share my screen with the client, I could do so, or we could stop sharing from here. If I did not already have keyboard and mouse control, I could request control, but as you can see, it's grayed out because I already have that. Now you'll see there are a few other options that are already grayed out as well. And I also mentioned that we partnered with ISL Inline to develop this solution. There are certain pieces that are not available in Connect and Fix that are available in ISL Inline. So the transfer session or the invite operator, where I could actually have 2 people connected in at the same time, those are not features that you can use through Connect and Fix. If those are features that you do need, you can always take a look at ISL Inline and test out some of those different features. But with Connect and Fix, like I said, we don't have those options. But let's move on to everything else that we can do. So file transfers. I can send files to my client. I can receive files from them. So if I wanted to send them an application to install, or if I wanted to grab some logs off of their computer, no problem. I could display those transfers. So if I wanted to see the status of the transfers, how long it's taking, or how long it will take for the transfer to complete, that would all be viewed here. You also notice that I have my transfers going to my desktop. If you wanted to change that, you can. That's just my preference, but everyone, of course, can change up and put whatever they want. Now, I can also chat with the end user whenever I'm logged in. So let me figure out which monitor his chat is on. Looks like monitor 2. And I will pull my chat back up. Oh, no, I was wrong. Monitor 1. Yeah. So let me pull my chat back up. So I can say, hi, Charles. And then he can reply. He can say hello back. Actually, he's, full disclosure, I didn't prep Charles. I didn't tell him ahead of time that I was going to be remoting into his device, so he just Skyped me and asked if I was going to be doing a demo. So you might have just saw me pop up and say yes. So now he knows that I'm demoing the product for you guys. But anyway, he could type back and forth with me in our Connect and Fix client. Yeah, looks like he's about to do so here. Something else I mentioned earlier about the cloud and the different data centers and the servers within those data centers. You'll notice that I'm connected into the North Virginia data center. I am in North Carolina, so a lot of times I will toggle between Virginia and Texas, whichever has the least amount of connections, and then I'm on server 105. But anyway, we can chat back and forth. You do have video chat features. You also can use like a soft phone to communicate if you wanted to actually speak with them via the phone. We can even use this chat box as a file transfer tool. He could drag or drop files in here, or he could even initiate a file transfer through the chat. Let's go to, back to monitor 3. Now I can also adjust my screen view if I wanted to see more of a one-to-one. I could view it that way, or fit to screen. I can draw on his screen. I can point something out. I can say, just go ahead and click here. I can then, I'll go back to my normal pointer here. You have keyboard shortcuts that are available. This is, well, of course, handy just for the ease of use, but also if I was on, say, a Mac, remoted into a Windows, and I don't have the same keyboard layout, I could use the keyboard shortcut to make it a little bit easier to perform certain tasks. Also, I have clipboard enabled, so I can copy and paste text back and forth between his device and my device. Now this button's pretty cool, the remote system information. A lot of times, I'm sure you guys know much better than I do, but a lot of times it's a client calls in for support and they just, oh, my computer's running slow. They don't know anything beyond that. They can't really tell me any specifics. So what this remote system information does is it gives me just a quick glimpse into kind of what's happening on their machine. I can view their CPU usage. I can view their RAM usage. I can see how much storage they have available. I can view a little bit of information on their network connection. So this may give me a good starting point as to what I need to start or what I need to do to resolve their issues. If they're spiking on their RAM usage, for example, I might want to take a look and see what processes are running and what's eating up that RAM and what we can do to fix that. As I mentioned, whenever I connect, I have the highest speed because that's my preference. If I would rather see the best quality where it just looks nicer, I can do that. This would be useful, I guess, if I needed to view photos or video or something on the other end. Or depending on my internet speed, if I'm having some issues or if they're having some issues or if they just have a slow machine and I really need to drop this down, I could go all the way down to just 8 colors. That's not pretty, but it gets the job done. I've had to do this, I think, I've only had to use this once before, remoting into a slow server with a slow connection, and it kind of helped, but you guys get the idea. It will adjust here in a minute. It does take a moment to adjust to 8 colors, but it doesn't look great, but it works. A few other tools that are available. Now, I mentioned I had out-of-the-box settings. This is one thing I did have already pre-enabled, is I already have admin rights on his computer. But if I didn't, I could click that enable button, I could put in my admin credentials, and then I would have admin rights on his device. Now, if he has admin credentials, he could even put them in for me and allow me to have admin credentials. Same thing with the restart and resume. So if I click on that enable restart and resume, if I can catch him fast enough, looks like I probably didn't catch him fast enough. He's pretty fast at this. Yeah, he already clicked on it. So, well, you can see the 8 colors. It looks pretty bad now. But he allowed me to have the ability to restart and resume. So now that I have the ability to restart and resume, if I go back in here, administrative mode, I can reboot his device, either just normal reboot or in safe mode. And no matter which approach I take, this is still going to be with networking, so it's going to get me right back into his computer. I don't have to resend him another session code. We can continue wherever we left off. So if I'm maybe installing software, uninstalling something, and it requires a reboot, I can still continue to work once that's complete. I can zoom in on certain parts of his screen. I can select a certain region. If I just wanted to view this little piece right here, let me go back to, actually, whoops, wrong thing. Let me try this one more time and go back to, we'll just do one-to-one. And let me get rid of that select region. Let's see, we'll just do desktop monitor 2. It's a black screen, no big deal. So I can, speaking of black screens, I can also black out the screen. So that way, if I'm putting in a password that I don't want him to see, or if I'm doing some work that I don't want the customer to recreate, I can black out their screen so they can't see what I'm doing. This is especially useful like if I'm making some changes in the registry and I don't want the customer to cause some damage and try to recreate what I'm doing. Now you can also record your sessions, and mine is manual. I can turn it on and off, but you can pre-configure this where it automatically records the session every time. So if you need to use this as a teaching tool, to show other technicians what was done, if you need to show the client what was done, if you're using this for ticketing and you want to show how much time you spent in the customer's device, you can record your sessions as well. And then I'm just going to go ahead and end my session with him, let him get back to work. So I briefly mentioned that this is something that can be completely customized and how I have all my settings out of the box. Let me show you what the customization looks like. So if I go into the settings here, there's a lot I can do to change the solution to best fit my needs. So if I wanted to, I don't know, I can change the language if I wanted to. If I wanted to make some changes during the remote desktop, like for me, I have the background black whenever I remote in, but if I wanted to actually see their desktop background, I could leave that on. If I wanted to enable the black screen immediately as I connect, I can turn that on. I can adjust where my file transfers go. I can make sure that screen recording gets turned on automatically. And then there's a lot of additional customization options that you have that you can go through here and change all you want. But this was connecting in through, like I said, through the application. There is still the option to connect in through the website. So let me pull that up for you guys to see. So I'm already logged in. Actually, let me go ahead and just delete the session. This is the one that I was just doing. Yeah, to let me know it's not active. I can just refresh the page. But anyway, if you go to connectandfix.islinline.net, for your clients, they can type in that session code, they can click join, and then you'll be able to connect to into their device. For you guys, top right corner, there is a login button. Once you click login, you can start up a new session directly from here. And once I start the new session, it's going to be exactly like we just saw using the application. All the same tools are available. All the same features are there. It's just set up through the website instead of having that local app. When we were doing the PowerPoint and I was talking about security, I mentioned that two-factor authentication is something that you guys can turn on and off. And that is actually done through this section as well. If I jump into the security tab, I could set up, well, I already have my password set up, but I could turn on two-step verification. I could put in an email address. I could put in a phone call, a phone number, which I have in here already. If I were to turn this on, every time I go to log in, it would send me a text message with that security code that I have to use before it will allow me to remote into the client's device. So as I was mentioning, it's completely optional whether you guys want to use it or not, but it is there if you need it. And I just got one step ahead of myself. I already had the site pulled up, but no big deal. So as far as getting started, if it's something that you're interested in, if you wanted to test out Connect and Fix, if you wanted to use Connect and Fix, all you have to do is just go to corporatearmor.com /connect-and-fix. Much easier way to do it. Just go to corporatearmor.com, click on free software. It takes you to this page. You don't have to go through and remember that. And you will need to sign up for Connect and Fix, and it is a manual sign up, meaning that we actually have to enter it into our system. It's not automatic, so it's not going to be an immediate thing. Part of why we are doing this manually is that in the past, people have used the solution for, how do I put this, for scamming purposes. It was easy to sign up for a free trial, and then they could use the solution to scam people, so we want to make sure that that doesn't happen. So that's why we do have to vet our signups. So when you sign up, if it is Monday through Friday, say 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern, chances are you'll get your sign up or you'll get your welcome email back pretty quickly. I would say within an hour or less. If it is after hours, it'll probably be the following business day. Same thing like on a Saturday or Sunday, it'll probably be the following Monday. So if you sign up and you don't get something immediately, that's why. It's because we have to make sure that people aren't using this for the wrong purposes. And one other thing I want to point out on this page, I mentioned before that we partnered with ISL to create Connect and Fix. You can see the side-by-side comparison of what's available in Connect and Fix versus what's available in ISL Online. I actually already mentioned the transfer session option or the invite operator, so you can see those are not available. One thing that is available that you still can do is screen recording. I know it says that's not, but it is. And then you'll see the main differences are some of the additional features like connecting in through mobile devices or connecting to mobile devices not available on Connect and Fix, or unattended access or in-page chat. So if those are features that you really want, definitely recommend taking a look at ISL Online. But if there are features that you don't necessarily need, you just need to be able to connect into a client's device when they call in for support, stick with Connect and Fix. It's, like I said, it's free. There's no risk or cost involved, so why not use it? So something I would recommend is whenever you fill out this form, and like I said, it might take a little bit to get the registration back, you can go ahead and download the application. Of course, you won't be able to use it because you won't be able to log into it, but you can go and get started with it and just be ahead of the game. So if you click on the free download here on the Connect and Fix page, it'll take you to the downloads page. There's a video that you can watch while you're waiting just to kind of brief overview of how to connect for the first time and how it works whenever you connect two devices. It's a great picture of me there. And you can download the solution. You can see this is for you guys, for operators, for clients. If you wanted to share that Connect and Fix client, as I mentioned earlier, I'll go ahead and download it so you guys can see what that looks like. But all they'd have to do is just launch that Connect and Fix client on their computer. And then once they launch it, all they have to do is put in that session code. So I mentioned that unattended access isn't necessarily available, but this kind of gets you halfway there. You can have this on your client's desktop. You don't have to redirect them to another site, open up another window. They just open it up, they put in your session code, they click join, and you get connected into their device. And then also there's some great guides that you can go through while you wait, or even once you get started with the product, just to familiarize yourself with some of the different features and how you can customize it. If you have questions later on, watching a presentation is one thing, but actually using the product is different. Questions come up a lot, or if you think of something later on after leaving today, feel free to contact us. You can call us. You can click the chat with us button on our website, and we'll be happy to answer any questions later on that you guys might have. So just keep that in mind, that we're always available to answer questions if you have any later on. Once again, I do want to thank everyone for joining today to take a look at Connect and Fix. If it's something you're interested in, definitely recommend signing up and testing it out and using it. And I hope everyone has a great day, and I hope everyone stays safe and continue to wash your hands and try not to touch your face and all that fun stuff. All right. So thank you guys, and talk to you soon.